Let's go, baby! Let's freaking go! The weather today, on Friday in Detroit, Michigan, was absolutely beautiful. You know what else is beautiful? This 2025 Detroit Tigers team. Throw the W's, baby! Tigers win to begin this 3-game weekend series in Toronto over the Blue Jays. And with this victory, the Tigers are the first team in the league this season to hit 30 wins. I'm recording this obviously before the Dodgers play later tonight. We'll see what happens with them. But regardless if they win or lose later tonight on Friday night, the point still stands. The Detroit Tigers are the first team in Major League Baseball this season to hit 30 wins. That's awesome. That is so awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about this victory. But first of all, I do have some housekeeping notes I need to take care of. Thanks so much, Roastar, for sponsoring this video. They've got hot coffee, cold brews, chocolate, all kinds of great drinks and treats for you to try and enjoy. Visit the website, roastarrumor.com. Link in the description below. If you find something that you want to try and make an order, you know I save some money on that order by using my code TonyD. Shout out to Roastar. Thank you once again to them for sponsoring this video. Also, if you can all do me a favor, what am I doing with my hands? If you could all do me a favor, leave a like on this one, comment your thoughts on this Tigers win down below, and hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I would very much appreciate it. And also, don't forget to share this video with all your friends as well. Alright, that takes care of my housekeeping. Let's now talk about this Tigers victory to begin this 3-game series in Toronto over the Blue Jays. Another gritty win for the Gritty Tigers tonight, if you ask me. But I feel like it's a different type of gritty victory than we're normally used to with this baseball team. What do I mean by that? Well, this Tigers win tonight, it wasn't like a come from behind victory that we're normally used to when we think about the Gritty Tigers, you know? It was a gritty victory, I feel like, from the standpoint of every time Toronto was attempting to come back into this game, we just kept on pushing forward, if that makes sense, you know? After being up 4-0 and seemingly being in control of this baseball game, Toronto makes it a 1-run game, but after that, Javier Baez, who we'll talk a lot more about in a second here, solo bomb, we go back up by 2. And then after Toronto made it a 1-run game again in the bottom of the 8th inning, Tommy Kahnle to close out that 8th frame, and Bo Brisky in the 9th inning were able to slam the door shut on this Tigers victory. Even though Toronto was attempting to make a comeback in this game, the Tigers just kept the foot on the gas. And despite those comeback efforts from the Blue Jays, they obviously came up short. Tigers get the victory tonight to begin this series in Toronto. As I said, a gritty win once again for the Gritty Tigers. Just a different type of gritty win, I feel like, than we're used to with this baseball team. Javi, man. Let's go, Mago. Let's freaking go. You already know I've got my Javi shirt with me once again in this video. How could I not? How could I not? Man. El Mago's biggest and best magic trick thus far of his career, if you ask me. It continues. The Javier Baez resurgence continues, man. That big-time solo homer in the top of the 8th inning, as I mentioned already, a huge point in this game, a huge part of this victory for the Tigers. He absolutely crushed it, too. He absolutely crushed that ball as well. His 6th on the season. He hit 6 all of last season. He's now already at 6 this season. It's enough to bring tears to a grown man's eyes, but that's not it. The Javier Baez resurgence, it's not just offensively. It's defensively too, man. It's not just that he's playing, all right in center field. Dude, he's playing great defense in center field. That diving catch he had in the 2nd inning in center, and then he doubled up the runner at first, bro. Just such a great play from Javi, again in center. We shouldn't be so surprised that he's doing so well in center, honestly, if you really think about it, because of just how great of an athlete he is. But it's still freaking unbelievable that he's doing this, bro. He's playing great offensively. He's playing great defensively in center. It's great, man. And then he He made another good catch to start the 9th inning, and then he almost ended the game with that sliding grab as well. Unfortunately, didn't come down with that one. It just went off his glove. Can't make every catch, unfortunately, but if he would have made that sliding grab to end the game, I would have fallen out of this chair. This chair that I'm sitting in, I would have just, wow. That would have been nuts. But nonetheless, though, he did make one more great catch in the 9th inning, almost made another one, but still, offensively and defensively, another great game for Javi. As I said, El Mago's best and biggest magic trick thus far of his career, if you ask me. The Javier Baez Resurgence tour continues in this win tonight against the Blue Jays. He is definitely my Tigers position player of the game. But man, at the same time, as I say that, I do feel kind of dirty for not giving my position player of the game to Riley Green. Javi deserves it. There's a reason why I'm giving him my position player of the game, obviously. He clearly deserves it for what he did offensively and defensively in this win. But man, Riley Green also had a huge game as well, particularly offensively. 2 hits in this victory, including the solo homer and the 2-run double in this game as well. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, along with a walk and a run scored. Riley Green, despite not being my position player of the game tonight, still awesome again as well. Z-Mac had a solo homer in this game too. Shout out to him. Kerry Bonds and Gleyber Torres with 2 hits each as well. Kerry also had a run scored in tonight's victory. And then the last 2 guys offensively that I'll give a shout out to, both Spencer Torkelson and Dylan Dingler, both reaching base twice. Tork with a walk and a hit by pitch, and then Dingler with a hit and a walk. Dylan Dingler, by the way, fun fact, Jason Benetti mentioned this on the broadcast. His real name is Francis. Who knew? I certainly didn't know that. You learn something new every day. I will say, though, I am not going to start calling him Francis in the rest of my Tigers videos throughout this season. I'm not going to start calling Dylan Dingler by his real name. I'm not going to start calling him Francis, you know. I kind of think of it similar to when Matthew Stafford was the Lions quarterback. You know, we didn't run around calling him John. Good throw, John. What a big play by John. Like, no, we called him Matthew. You know? So, like, I'm not about to start being like, good game for Francis. Like, no, that's Dylan Dingler, man. That's beside the point, though. Good game from the offense, once again, if you ask me. Moving on to the pitching for the Tigers in tonight's victory. First of all, Jack Flaherty, our starter in this one. He was a lot better, man. He was a lot better. Shout out to Jack for looking better, looking more like himself, and just overall pitching a lot better in tonight's win. He was so close to 6 scoreless, man. He was so close to 6 scoreless. You know, in that 6th inning with 2 outs. I hate to say that the Blue Jays got lucky, but at the same time, they did get kind of lucky there. Like, am I wrong? I feel like the Blue Jays got a little lucky there in that 6th inning. You know, the infield single from Vlad Guerrero Jr., I feel like he got a little lucky there. And then the next batter for Toronto, that 2-run homer. It wasn't even a bad pitch. Like, Peaches even said it on the broadcast, Dan Petrie. He was like, yeah, that's not even a strike. Like, it wasn't even a bad pitch, man. I don't know how he was able to hit that out, but he was somehow able to hit that out. I kind of feel like that was a little lucky for the Toronto Blue Jays as well. But nonetheless, though, other than a little bit of unlucky stuff that happened there at the end of his outing, still, Jack Flaherty, again, was a lot better tonight. 2 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings pitched, only 1 walk and 6 strikeouts, with 61 strikes on 90 total pitches. Jack Flaherty, shout out to him. He's my Tigers pitcher of the game tonight. I was really impressed with particularly the first inning from Jack Flaherty tonight. You know, he gives up the leadoff double to Bo Bichette to start the day for Toronto. Right after that, it's kind of like, oh, geez, are we really about to do this again? Is it about to be another rough day for Jack and the Tigers? No, Jack bounced back very nicely after that, I thought. You know, he got 3 straight outs to get out of that first inning jam, including 2 strikeouts. And those 3 outs, obviously, were against Toronto's 2, 3, and 4 hitters. I was impressed, like I said, with Jack Flaherty's first inning tonight, and I was just impressed with how Jack looked overall in this one. So yeah, overall, good stuff from Jack tonight, and I want to give some love to the Tigers bullpen too. Even though Brendan Hanafy in the 7th inning and Ty McKinley in the 8th inning both give up a run each to, as I mentioned earlier in the video, at the time make it a 1-run game in both instances, I thought they both bounced back very nicely. Hannafy in the 7th inning, again, 1-run game, runner on second for Toronto, only 1 down, but Hannafy was able to get out number 2, out number 3, get the Tigers out of that jam with no more damage done, I should say. And the same thing for Tommy in the bottom of the 8th inning. Leadoff homer for Toronto. It's a 1-run game, but following that, the changeup king locked in and did his thing. Out number 1, out number 2, out number 3. 3 straight outs after that leadoff homer for the Blue Jays. Tommy was able to fight out of that 8th inning with no more damage done. And then Bo Brisky in the 9th inning. It is showing trust in Bo there, even though, unfortunately, Bo hasn't had the best start to this 2025 season. Despite that, and despite it maybe getting a little scary there in that 9th inning, Toronto was able to put 2 guys on. But despite the Bo Brisky struggles to start this 2025 season, AJ showing trust in Bo to put him in there in that big-time spot. He delivered. Shout out to Bo Brisky for getting the save tonight. Shout out to the bullpen. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Javi. Shout out to the Gritty Tigers, man. Another good team win to begin this series tonight in Toronto. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the first team in Major League Baseball this season to hit 30 wins. Feels good, man. It feels good. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep it going. Let's go for another victory on Saturday. Until then, that's all I got for you this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it as always. As I mentioned earlier in the video, leave a like on this one. Comment your thoughts on this Tigers win down below. Hit that subscribe button and share with all of your friends. I very much appreciate it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, until the next video, as always, go Tigers, baby.